All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this IMMERI Business Opportunity presentation. My name is Solomon James, and I'm reaching out to you all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be spending the next 1 hour explaining and bringing to life what the buzz around IMMERI is all about. First, let me give credit to Mr. Brian Louis for giving us the privilege to use this presentation, which he has masterfully crafted. So again, thank you, Mr. Brian Louis, for that. All right, let's go. Now, IMMERI business presentation, I believe some of us, we were invited to find out what this is all about. Now, IMMERI originates from the word Immer. Immer is a German word that means eternity. And they added the I to it to be named IMMERI, meaning Eternity International. In essence, IMMERI is an international company that is built with the concept of eternity in view, meaning it's an international company that is built to last. Why should they be considering an international company that is built to last? Because for many of us, we've done things in the past that didn't last. And IMMERI says, let's fix this, let's create things that last. Now, these are the IMMERI board of directors. These three men brought this dream to bear. Now we have Mr. Tankanfo, who is the president of, and the one in charge of the South East Asia region. He's this group senior executive and vice president of the company. We have Mr. Luo Changguan, who is the chief executive officer of IMMERI Global, and he's the president of the Greater China region. We have Mr. Yap Wayen, who is the group executive vice president also, and is also the one in charge of Africa, the president for Africa and Middle East. Together, they've put in over 100 years of experience to bet this vehicle, this dream vehicle that is called IMMERI. And all over the world, we want to say salute to this gentleman for making this dream possible that today we can call home. Thank you very much, sirs. Now, IMMERI began in 2016, starting from China. IMMERI is in some of the big cities in China. We have IMMERI in Taiwan. We have IMMERI in Hong Kong. We have IMMERI in the Philippines. We have IMMERI in Brunei. We have IMMERI in Malaysia. Now, IMMERI moved into the African continent coming in through Ghana. That was sometime in 2018. And IMMERI also came into Nigeria April 15th, 2019. That was last year. We've been in pre-launch in Nigeria, and we'll officially be launching the IMMERI brand March 28th in Lagos, Nigeria. Now, November 29 last year, IMMERI also opened its office in Egypt. And currently, the registration process for South Africa, for Sudan, for Saudi Arabia is already almost completed, and many other countries are being worked on as IMMERI spreads on progressively to cover these regions. Now, what's the mission of IMMERI? Our mission is simply to bring happiness to ourselves and to our people and our family. You cannot give what you do not have. And IMMERI is using the vehicle of IMMERI to spread this love, offering health, financial freedom, continuous growth, and giving back to the society. Now, what's the core value of IMMERI? IMMERI believes that sharing is rewarding. IMMERI believes that success breeds success. And IMMERI believes in what we call filial piety, which is respect, love, and care for one another. Though we may differ in different things, but in the brotherhood of IMMERI, we are all one. Now, who are we? Who is IMMERI? What is IMMERI into? Now, IMMERI is the exclusive maker of our state-of-the-art manufacturing facility dedicated solely for the production of one of our products, as you get to hear about it, Virgin. IMMERI has spent over $2 million since 2017 to put this factory together. So it's not a third party that is producing for us. IMMERI owns his factory. IMMERI runs what we call the Growth University, where our trainings and education and personal development is being channeled through. IMMERI also believes in giving back to society. So IMMERI runs what they call a faith foundation. And the IMMERI Faith Foundation is our way of giving back to society by setting aside 0.25% of our sales revenue for the foundation. About 3 weeks ago, I was privileged to be in Ghana, where the IMMERI Faith Foundation also went to give to the less privileged an orphanage in support of what they were doing. That's part of what we do in IMMERI. What's been our achievement so far? Since October 2016 that IMMERI has been in operation, we've achieved a sale of over 280 million. And trust me, this data, it's about 6 months ago, okay? It's not even been updated, but about over $280 million worldwide. Of this number, I can tell you that 600,000 members and counting have also come on board with a 38% active retention. In the industry, the retention rate is about 5 to 10%. I mean, it's quite high, low. But for IMMERI, we have 38% of our partners being active. Now, we also have, apart from the money I've just talked about, making over $280 million in revenue, IMMERI has also taken over 6,800 of its partners on incentive tours. We have over 5,500 partners who went on a cruise sometime last year, March last year, the Norwegian cruise. It was lovely. Over 800 in Malaysia, over 350 in Bali, in Dubai. The one for Egypt is not even added, and the numbers keep going high. Now, IMMERI has given out over 656 cars just within the space of 3 years. And IMMERI is not yet done because there are more cars that have not even been added. IMMERI also has 2 of its partners receiving houses. So we have 2 house recipients in IMMERI. All of this happening within the space of 3 years. It tells you a lot is happening in IMMERI. What's our product commitment in IMMERI? IMMERI believes that we produce products that comes with conscience. We produce only product that we ourselves will use. It's not everybody that produces a product that comes with conscience. I mean, I do give an analogy. There are people probably who trade in cigarettes, who sell cigarettes, but they will not allow their children or their family members to be hooked to it. And that means what they are doing does not come with conscience. IMMERI says whatsoever we offer comes with conscience. And our product must be products that have high quality. They are made with craftsmanship of the highest standard possible. And as far as possible, our products are green and they are used from natural raw materials, no chemicals in our product. Now, IMMERI has 5 product brand series. We have what we call the IMMERI, which covers our intimate care product. We have what we call the IMMERI Plus. The IMMERI Plus covers our health and functional food. We have the IMMERI Bell, which covers the skin and personal care line. Then we have the IMMERI Home, covering our kitchenware and home products. We also have what we call the IMMERI Light, that covers our lifestyle, food, and beverages. Now, of these 5 categories, some are in some regions, some are not in some region. And I'll tell you the ones that we have for Africa, those of us in Ghana, those of us in Nigeria, we have these 3 products that are currently running. Talking about Virgin, talking about V-Tide, and talking about Advel. Now, in deepening this product, IMMERI created what we call a triangular hub to take this product within the Middle East and the African region. Now, like I said, IMMERI began in October 15, 2018 in Ghana. and Nigeria was the second market. So the Ghana market is serving the West African and part of Central Africa. And like I did say, we opened the IMMERI in Egypt, November 29 last year. And we have an office there in Cairo that is covering the Arab world, north of Africa and part of East Africa. Currently, the registration process for South Africa is almost done, and the office in South Africa should be up and running this year. And the South African region will be covering the south of Africa and part of Central and East Africa. So this is the IMMERI hub covering the Middle East and the African region. Now, talking about Africa, Africa is the second largest continent in the world and the second most populous continent, with a population of 1.32 billion people in this continent. Now, of this, we'll just take the statistics from just two countries. We discovered that over 30 million people live in Ghana. And of this population in Ghana, over 14.7 million, which is about 49.1%, they are female. Now, in Nigeria, we are over 202 million and counting. Of this number, again, over 99 million are women, are ladies, are female. So that represents about 49.4%. Now, if you can take anything or create something that addresses the large population of these female folks, then you have something going in your hand. Now, mind you, of these numbers, over 3.6 million in Ghana and over 14 million in Nigeria, of these women in Nigeria, they are affected with what we call bacterial vaginosis. Bacterial vaginosis is caused by the imbalance between the good and bad bacteria in the vagina, which causes foul-smelling discharges, vaginal itching, gray, white, and greenish discharges in the vagina. Now, this is just a graphic representation of the female reproductive system. And when you look at this, you discover this region is a very sensitive one. Now, many people look at it because it contains the ovary. The ovary is what produces the eggs. Now, if the ovary does not produce the egg, for me, I think humanity is being threatened. Now, no matter how potent the sperm is, the ovary needs to come alive. So as the ovary comes alive and the sperm is functional and there is this fertilization and the seed gets to grow or to be formed, the child gets to be formed. The next place that is important within this circle is what we call the uterus, because the uterus is what carries the baby. Now, if the uterus is not also well enhanced and well protected, that simply means it doesn't matter what the ovary is doing, the egg that is producing, that is being produced, then that means the baby will be dropping, will be having lots of miscarriages, okay, threatening abortion. Now, as important as this place is, the most important protective cover that God created to take care of this zone is the vagina. The vagina is the doorway to the intimate part of this zone. It's the intimate part, the doorway that protects and preserves the uterus and the ovary. Now, take note that the vagina itself is just an inch away from the vagina, from the anus. It means even how our female folks they clean themselves up can be at risk, because if it's not properly taken care of, it attracts pathogens, bacteria, and all those things begin to get attracted to that region. Now, once it bridges this wall, once it bridges the vagina, it is moving into the deeper area that we do not want them to go. As you can see, the pathogens are moving up. Now, somebody might think, yes, it started with itchy and they didn't take care of it. But now we are talking about deep infections here. We are looking at pelvic and inflammatory diseases. We are looking at infertility. Today, there's a high statistics of infertility in the land. Yes, for some of us in Africa, this is not all demonic. Not all infertility are demonic. From witches and wizards, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, and every other in-laws involved. For some of these, they are are infections that have gone untreated. There are infections that people didn't pay attention to, and these things have built into what we call the compound effect. We see this also developing into cervical erosions. We see a lot of ladies, a lot of women complaining about dryness and sexual pain during intercourse when they meet their partners. This ought not to be so. Beyond that, some persons are complaining about the secretions. They will talk about the odors, the smell, the fishy smell, the bad smells. Now, you get to meet with your partner, you're supposed to end in pleasure, but because of the smell, the fun is spoiled. Now, many people cannot talk about these things because they are all private matters. Now, this can also lead to sexual transmitted infections. We talk about the abortion, which is miscarriages. This can also even lead to women cancer. So as you can see from the picture before you, it's not just talking about the itching. It's not just talking about the odor. It can get complex. And that's what we're trying to address using our flagship product, which is Virgin. Now, Virgin is a natural intimate gel that contains natural ingredients. Virgin contains antibacterial and immune peptides, okay, that also helps to inhibit and fight the bad bacteria. Virgin contains organic acid. The organic acid plays a role in maintaining the pH level of the vagina, which is supposed to be between 3.5 to 4.4. Now, when it goes beyond 4.4, then it's beginning to get alkaline. And you know that pathogens and the rest of them, they thrive more in alkaline environment. What happens if it drops below 3.5? Then it's becoming more acidic. Now you are talking about the pains, the cramps, the dryness, and the rest of it. The ingredient, Virgin also contains what we call the seaweed extract. It contains a hyaluronic acid that helps in moisturizing the vagina for those who are talking about the dryness. Okay, so with the hyaluronic acid, it softens the vagina and makes it moist. Virgin also contains the ingredient of polysaccharide. This polysaccharide is what actually feeds the good bacteria, and it's called lactobacillus. The lactobacillus is fed by the polysaccharides. Now, remember, this is like light fighting against darkness. When the good bacteria is well fed, it can fight and inhibit and bring down the effect of the bad bacteria. The ingredient also contains, Virgin also contains vitamin E. Vitamin E is very beneficial for those who are menopausal or postmenopausal. For some ladies, they tell you they are having their hormonal imbalances and issues like that. Vitamin E in it helps to address that. And we also have the 100% natural essential oil. So this is the working mechanism for our flagship product called Virgin, and all of this is 100% natural. Now, this is a cross-section of a broken vagina, an infected vagina. Now, like I said, Virgin is a gel, it's an intimate gel. When this gel is inserted, okay, and goes into the vagina, within 10 minutes, it begins to work. One of the things it does is that it enhances the beneficial bacteria. As you can see, the lactobacillus, they begin to get restored almost immediately. The antipathogen now is also enhanced. They come alive. And once they come alive, all those pathogens that were there having fun and actually some of them living in a 3-bedroom flat or apartment, now you can see they go to work, and what do you see? Boom, it's taken care of. Every one of those pathogens get removed. The bacteria, the fungus, they all get removed. So Virgin also helps to restore the acidic environment. I talked about the pH. Now, why do we sometimes fumigate our houses when there are cockroaches, when there are mosquitoes? We simply change the environment. The environment becomes toxic for them to survive. So by the introduction of Virgin, remember that the organic acid goes into play, changing the acidic environment, and it becomes unbearable for them to be effective there. Virgin also helps in the tissue repair, in repairing the tissue, okay, of the vagina. Virgin also helps in what we call immune recovery with the TLK receptor. So what are the benefits of Virgin? Virgin enhances friendly bacteria, inhibits the bad bacteria. So we have this enhanced self-cleaning and defense mechanism that is being activated, and it helps to reduce infection. Virgin also helps in moisturizing and tightening of the vagina. For some persons, they have kind of a loose vagina, what we call a vaginal atrophy. Some of it could be due to either high sexual activity or even childbirth. And some of the vaginas, the elasticity is not well, it does not return back. But once you use Virgin, the testimonies are there to prove that it tightens the vagina, it repairs the cell, it nourishes the ovaries, helping those who are expectant. Okay, we do not make a claim that once you take Virgin, you become pregnant. Otherwise, we would have created a signboard that says, "Come on to me, all you that want to get pregnant, and we'll make you have babies." But what Virgin does is to go in and nourish the ovaries while restoring the elasticity of the vagina. Now, Virgin also helps in improving your sex life, the sex life of the users, because it has this refreshing aroma that takes care of the odor while helping to secrete pheromone. And you know, pheromone secretion also helps in your libido, helps to increase the libido also. Now, these are the feedbacks that we've had from some of our users. Over 90% of our users agree that with Virgin, they had excellent malodor eliminating effect. Over 90% of our users agree that it reduces infection and it is very excellent and anti-itchy. I mean, it stops the itchiness. Over 90% of our users also agree that it relieves redness and the pain. Now, over 95% of our users agree that Virgin is highly moisturizing. You do not need the KY jelly and other creams because this is naturally effective, highly moisturizing. Vaginal tightening, it tightens the vagina and it improves the quality of sexual intercourse for partners. Every day in our WhatsApp group, in our Facebook, in our Telegram groups, we are getting people sending in unsolicited testimonies of what Virgin is doing for them. So again, we have the excellent eliminating effect, takes care of the anti-itchy, relieves redness and pain, highly moisturizing, vaginal tightening, and improving of the quality of sexual intercourse. Now, quickly, let's talk about our other two products, which combined together is the best natural anti-aging product in the world. Trust me, nobody wants to get old, nobody wants to age, okay? But we have products that will help you deal with that. Now, our first product here is Vitide. Vitide is a soy micromolecule bioactive peptide. Now, what is peptide? Peptide, basically, they are short-chain amino acid, a compound made up of 2 or more amino acids linked through peptide bonds, which are similar than smaller than proteins. Now, peptide also help to govern and regulate the bioactivities of bodily cells. They play a vital role in initiating physiological development and functions of the human body. So in essence, peptide or Vitide, which is the main ingredient is peptide, is basically food for the cell. Because while you eat, your cell will need to wait until your food breaks down for it to be able to extract whatsoever it can to feed itself. Now, our product has very high performance because it contains 17 amino acids, including 9 essential amino acids. The peptide purity is above 96% and the protein purity is above 92%. Now, this product has very high absorption due to its low molecular weight. Okay, it's easily digested and optimally absorbed by our cells. Now, it's highly active because of the high dissolution, and it's a non-genetically modified soil extract from natural green raw materials, again, which we said our products are green and they are safe for consumption by the human body. Now, it simply means that peptide deals with our cell. Now, according to science, our bodies made up of millions of cells, and per second, our cells are dying. So when you take Vitide, Vitide is actually food for the cell, because when you take your rice, your yam, your whatever your food is, your cell has still not eaten because that nutrient is yet to be absorbed. But while you are waiting for that, once you take Vitide, the following benefit begins to accumulate and get sucked in for the cell to begin to enjoy. Now, one of the things that Vitide does, like I said, it vitalizes actually because it helps to activate cellular activity and remove free radical. It restores by repairing the damaged cells and reconditioned cells in the body. It helps to promote, it helps to inhibit also by promoting cellular assimilative function and normalizing the body metabolism, and helps in strengthening your immune system and may stop what we call cell mutation. Now, what are these benefits? It helps to protect the cell. Remember, we're told in biology that the cell is the smallest unit of the body. From the cell, we have the tissue. From the tissue, we have the organ. From the organ, we have the system. From the system, we have the man. In essence, if anything happens to the human cell, which is the basic building block of the human body, something is wrong with the entire man. So Vitide helps to protect the cell. Now, it also helps to slow down aging, because as your cells are dying, they also get regenerated. But the question is, if the dying cells are more than the cells that are being replaced, then that simply means you are fast-tracking your aging process. But because Vitide is positioned to feed the cell directly, it means the cell gets healthy, thereby slowing down aging. It helps to prevent cancer. Okay, now one of the few things you will know out there is practically lots of the cancer issues are also tied to the cell. Okay, they'll tell you cancer of the breast, cancer of the uterus. Many of them, they are cellular, which is why one of the ways they tend to work on this is for the person to go for what they call chemo. Now, chemo treatment is simply frying of the cells, and in this case, you are killing both the good and the bad cell. But with Vitide, it gets the cell to come alive. It gets to help your cell to come alive, because once this cell are supposed to exist in the body and they do not, it causes cell mutation, which can also lead to cancer. So we prefer to invest in prevention than even in the curing of cancer. Vitide is good for you. Vitide helps in regulating your blood pressure. Remember, your total, it helps the entire body to get normalized and the metabolism to function very well. So it helps to regulate your blood pressure also. It helps to restore the skin and muscle elasticity. Remember, this is working from the inside. Once your cells come alive, your skin and muscle will also begin to function optimally. It helps to strengthen the muscles, okay? Because some persons are always feeling lethargic, feeling very fatigued, which again, you're going to see as one of the benefits here. Taking Vitide help, it gives you strength. You're not just your muscle, your entire body. You find the energy to walk through the day. It helps to eliminate fatigue, because while again your food is waiting to be digested, your cell has not eaten. So that simply means you begin to feel that fatigue. People wake up as early as 8 a.m. in the morning and you are fatigued. Why? The food you have eaten last night sometimes are yet to break down, which is why when you throw up, you feel sick and you throw up, you find out everything you ate the previous night seems to come out. Then what has the cell eaten? It was waiting. But feeding the cell directly helps to eliminate fatigue. Vitide helps to increase immunity, and it helps in weight loss, because once your cell is healthy, your body is healthy, your entire system is healthy, you feel health. You don't want to grab germs into your system, and thereby is helping keeping your body metabolism running optimally. It also works in helping you lose weight. Our last product for the night is what we call Advel. Advel is a plant-based enzyme. We call it addition to wellness. Now, what are enzymes? We know that enzymes help to speed up chemical reactions in the human body. What we want to do is, as much as possible, take enzymes in our system to help us, especially those of us in Africa. We eat a whole lot of carbs, we eat a lot of heavy meal. So with enzyme, it helps to break down the large complex molecule into smaller molecules such as glucose, so that the body can use them as fuel. Now, I give the analogy that you find out sometimes your car is running low on gas, but once you put in the gas, you find out the car begins to rev and it begins to run. But what happens when we take our meal, especially our heavy meal? Now, they are supposed to be fuel, but rather than being fuel for us to run, it makes us heavier, because it is yet to be broken down. Yes, it will become fuel when it is broken down. Enzymes help you to do that. So with Adwell, which is our plant-based enzyme, it helps us accomplish this. Now, it has, IMMERI has created two patented system, okay, technology that is helping us achieve this, because we have the bioenzymes, which actually helps to activate metabolic enzymes in plants, which eliminate most anti-nutritional factor. Now, what this bioenzymes also does is it greatly enhances the nutritional content of our overall nutritional of our meal. Sometimes, yes, what you eat might not be too nutritious, but with this, it goes in to try to extract whatsoever is left of it. And we have this smart technology added to Adwell that helps to enhance the nutritional value also, and also activate the enzymes of the ingredients, eliminating the remaining anti-nutritional factors. So what we see here is increased enzymatic activities by 200%. This is a technology that is helping us to function very well. Now, Adwell contains five types of enzymes. We have the lipase, okay, which takes care of fat and oil. We're taught in school that part of the classes of food was fat and oil. So the body, yes, the body needs oil, the body needs fat, but good fat, good oil, good cholesterol. Okay, so lipase helps in breaking that down. It contains proteins that helps to break down protein. It contains amylase that helps to break down our carbohydrates, our starch, and help burn them down to glucose so that they can also be used as fuel. It contains antioxidant enzyme and also contains fibrinolytic enzyme. Now, this helps for our blood to flow effectively. Now, most ladies, when they have their flow, their monthly flow, they talk about, a lot of them complain about having a blood clotting, okay? This helps your blood not to clot. And remember, if your blood is clotting, there is no free flow with your oil intake and the rest of them, you are playing with probably stroke, okay? Your arteries is blocked, your gut is affected. Now, these enzymes help to take care of all of this, and all of this is in Adwell. Now, what's the benefit of Adwell? It helps to improve our intestinal health, okay, because science will tell you that over 70–75% of our health issues start from our gut, so it starts from our tract. So it helps to improve your intestinal health. It helps with what we call the anti-inflammation, because once you have an inflammation and you take Adwell, you see it goes into action within 10 minutes. It helps to prevent blood clot. I just talked about that. It helps to prevent cancer. Adwell helps to increase the metabolism of the body, because every part of the body is now functional in a very symbiotic way. And Adwell helps to lose weight. Now, imagine your carbohydrate is broken down. Imagine the cholesterol is dropping off your body, of your system. And what will happen? Obviously, you will lose weight. Now, what happens if you are on the slimmer side? Somebody will say, I'm on the skinny side. Should I still take Adwell? Remember, it helps to increase your metabolism. It doesn't make you lose more weight, okay? It simply puts your body at the optimal level of work. Now, all of our products, they are FDA certified. That means our products are backed by the regulations of the land where we operate. So for Ghana, it's FDA certified. In Nigeria, it's also cleared by NAFDAC. You can see our certificates. Now, how do I become a part of this and enjoy this product, okay? Or whatsoever IMMERI is offering. Now, we have membership plans. We have 3 doorways. We have what we call the classic program, the agency program, and the wholesale program. Now, talking about these packages, because right now on this webinar, we are looking at the global market. So I might not be mentioning every country. So let's use the US dollar, okay, as the global standard rate. Now, it doesn't matter which country you are, you can convert this, okay, to your country's currency so that you know how it applies. Now, I talked about that we're having 3 access points into IMMERI. The classic package, okay, is what we call the pre-associate, okay, the smallest sign-on pack for IMMERI. The classic package, okay, it's $161 US, and it gives you access to 1 account. Now we have the agency, which puts you on what we call the associate level, and it comes with a 30% discount for life. Now, when you join with the agency, you are given product, okay? We'll talk about that. You can pick the product that you want. However, when you choose to come back probably to buy, it could be the Virgin, it could be the Adwell, it could be the Vitae. IMMERI says you are going to enjoy 30% discount for the rest of your life for any product that you purchase, and you're also given one account. That's $805 US. Then we have what we call the tiers, the wholesale, from tier 1 to tier 4, okay? And it ranges from $2,013 to about $8,050. And all this also have their benefits because, for example, like for the tier 1 to tier 4, on all of them, you get to enjoy 50% discount on our product. You don't need to bring anybody. You don't need to do anything. Anytime you go to place an order for a product, you enjoy 50% discounted for life. You don't need to rank to enjoy this. It comes with your registration at the wholesale level. Now, it also comes with the opportunity for you to get additional products. So for example, you join with $2,013, you are going to get an additional 20% additional product to what you paid. If you join with the $8,000 US, you are going to get 50% extra product given to you. I mean, all of this without trying to rank, it comes with your registration. So you pick the one that applies, that you see the best of benefit in. Now, let's talk about the IMMERI opportunity, because we've just considered the product, okay? Let's look at the opportunity of this IMMERI vehicle. Now, IMMERI gives you the opportunity to play in the retail business, okay? Whereas you could do between 30 to 50% probably business and make money. You can do between 30 to 50%. And I'll show you how this plays. Now, let's take the Virgin, for example, a retail case study of Virgin. Now, when you sign up with $805 US, you are going to get 20 boxes of Virgin. That is if all you wanted was Virgin, because IMMERI does not give you product. IMMERI allows you to pick the product you want. Now, there are companies that whether you want the product or not, they will just put everything and do a combo and they give to you. IMMERI says, no, you pick whatsoever you want. If Virgin is your product, go for it. If you want Adwell, if you want Vita, if you want them mix, it's up to you. But let's take this example and a case study of all Virgin. So you sign up for $805, you get 20 boxes of Virgin. The cost of each box of Virgin is $40 US. The retail price for each box is $55 US. So $40 is like the member's price. It means you are making a profit of $15. Now, mind you, you have 20 boxes. It means if you are done selling 20 boxes, that's $300 US pure profit. It has nothing to do with you bringing anybody into the system. Now, remember, IMMERI says if you come to repurchase, whether you are buying one or putting back the $805 US, you are going to get the 30% discounted for life. Now, because the product is discounted, right now, instead of getting it at the cost price, which was $40, when you apply the 30%, it drops to $28. That increases your number of boxes from 20 to 28. However, the retail price is still fixed at $55. So when you retail 28 boxes at $55, okay, and whereas your cost price is $28, it means your profit per box is $27. Now, when you multiply 28 boxes, okay, by the retail price of $55, you are making a sale profit of $756. $756. This is just for selling 28 boxes. If it took you 1 month to sell 28 boxes, multiply $756 US by your local currency, and you know what you are earning. Again, remember, it has nothing to do with ranking. And we've had testimonies of somebody doing 20 boxes in 8 hours. We've had people getting sales reps to help them push the product. So it means everybody is winning retailing the product. Now, IMMERI says beyond this, we can do the same for Adwell and VTide. You sign up with the agency pack of $805. You can choose to pick 6 boxes of VTide or Adwell. The members cost here is $134. When you retail it, it's $187. Your profit here is $53. Now, when you multiply your 6 boxes by the retail price of $187, you are making a profit of $318 just simply selling 6 boxes of VTide or Adwell. Now, if you choose to come back to repurchase, whether you are putting the entire money or you are buying one, mind you, the 30% applies. Now, it simply means at the reduction with the 30% application, the cost price drops from $134 to $101. Retail price is still the same. So you are looking at a profit of $86 per box. When you sell your 8 boxes, then you're looking at a profit of about $688. Imagine earning this monthly. Now, IMMERI says we have 11 bonus categories where we pay our partners. Now, and they are quite lucrative. Again, there are no monthly maintenance for you to actually earn all of this. There's no auto ship, no balancing of leg, there is no PV, nothing here. IMMERI simply says we have from the sponsor bonus, the team bonus, the elite bonus, the promotion bonus, the leadership bonus, director development bonus, the same rank bonus, the repurchase bonus, the travel incentive, the car reward, even the house reward that we just talked about. Now, the sponsor bonus is simple. You come in with a classic package or with or above, or probably the agency. When you sponsor somebody or you recruit somebody, you talk to somebody who comes on board, that's your level 1, whether the person joined with a classic package or the agency. IMMERI says we pay you 5% for getting somebody to join us. Now, if that person happens to share with another person, you might not be part of that picture, but for that transaction going through, IMMERI says, you know what, we reward you with 5% on your second level. Now, this scenario plays both for the classic package and the agency package. Now, if you now happen to get somebody who joins you with any of the wholesale prices I talked about, IMMERI says right now we are not playing on a 2-level reward system anymore. We are going 3. Your first generation, you are going to earn 10% of that. Your second generation, if they also come in with a wholesale, you're also going to get 5% of whatsoever they come in with. And your third generation, you're going to earn 5% whatsoever they come in. Now, trust me, sometimes wealth is not created by your first generation. You don't know what the rest people under they are doing, and yet you get to earn. Now, let's look at the IMMERI Synergistic Board Breaking Plan. This is awesome. This is huge. I tell people I want to believe that this was taken out from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, because when you pick up that book and you look at chapter 6, it talks about synergy. Synergy is the highest form of life. So IMMERI says, why play alone? Why don't come, let's be synergistic. Let's make sure everybody can win while we work together. So we have the IMMERI Synergistic Board Breaking Plan here. Now, we have different membership ranking in IMMERI. When you come in with the agency, you are in the group A. Here you are what we call an associate. From an associate, you move to an elite associate. From an elite associate, you move to an executive. From an executive, you become an elite executive. From elite executive, you rank to become a manager. From a manager, you rank to become an elite manager. From an elite manager, you become a director. So we have 1-star director, 2-star director, 3-star director. Then you can also move from a director level and become an ambassador. So we have the Sapphire ambassador, Emerald ambassador, and the highest rank in IMMERI is Diamond. So all eyes are on the Diamond table. All eyes are on Diamond. You want to go Diamond if you want to take your IMMERI business serious. Now, let's look at how this plays, because I talked about that we are playing, building what we call the IMMERI Synergistic Board Breaking System. What are the board dynamics? Now, in 3 simple steps, you will understand how the IMMERI board plays out. Step 1, when you join, not if you join, because you will join. If you not join today, you will still join. So when you join, you get on board where everyone works together, recruiting until the board gets gets full. Okay. Now, this is the example of the board. IMMERI plays a board of 15 people. It's a board of 15. The top 7 is already pre-filled by existing members. So in this case right now, we find out that the top bottom has 8 spaces. That is where you will come on board, come to when either of the slot, we call them tags, when you come to join IMMERI, and you can also play a role to fill in those 8 tags, those 8 slots. Now, this is what it looks like here. Let's say Beverly happens to share with Harry, Beverly shared with you, Beverly shared with Jack, and Beverly shared with Kim. In this case, we say that Beverly has recruited 4 persons. In IMMERI, we call it qualification. So Beverly right now has 4 qualifications. Beverly brought in 4 people, sponsored 4 people, 4 qualifications. Now, let's say that by the time you came in, you L, okay, has 1 qualification because L brought in Lisa, okay? So see, everybody is playing their role. Now, mind you, everybody at the top might not be in the same team. Sometimes Beverly can be from the US, David could be from Ghana, Frank could be from Philippines, Greg could be from Nigeria. So you find out everybody's on the board trying to fill in the remaining 8. And whatsoever is happening now, everybody gets to benefit. You're going to see how that plays out. So here, you, seeing that you just came in, is remaining 3 slots, 3 more tags, and you get to talk 3 of your friends, probably they're on this webinar with you. And you have Max, Neil, and Oliver coming. In this case, Beverly has 4 qualifications, L has 1 qualification, you have 3 qualifications. Now, it takes us to the next step. Step 2 says the 2 people with the highest number of recruits or qualifications on the board will become the elite. The 2 people with the highest number of recruits or qualification on the board will become the elite. Now, the elite is like the leader of the board. So in this case, you find out there was an elite, okay? There was a leader. Now, whosoever becomes the next 2 persons that fills the lower board, okay, and once the board is filled, the system calculates who are the 2 people that has the highest number of recruits. Automatically, you become the elite. Now, this is how it works. Looking at this board, Beverly has 4, L has 1, you have 3. Obviously, Beverly and you are qualified to be the next elite. So once the 15th person comes in, the board breaks. What do we mean? Whosoever is the elite is promoted to the next rank. For being promoted to the next rank, we now have 14 persons still left. So the system says the 2 highest recruits will become the elite of the next 2 boards. So in this case, Beverly happens to have 4, Beverly takes a board. You happen to have 3, you take the next board. Who is next on the board? We find out that L has 1 person. So L moves to the board where Beverly is, and the rest persons seem not to have done anything. So the system positions them according to when they came in. So in this case, Carl comes under you. David moves to L. Yes, Frank moves to you. Greg moves to Beverly's board. Harry moves to your board. Jack moves to Beverly's board. Kim moves to your board. Lisa moves to Beverly's board. Max moves to your board. Neil moves to Beverly's board, and Oliver is placed on your board. Now, this is how you will always find the 7 existing members on a board. Once you see that happen, it tells you a board has broken and 7 persons have been placed according to the highest number of recruitment that they made or the timing when they came in. Step 3, IMMERI says, as an elite, trust me, the goal is to be an elite. As an elite, when your board gets full, you rank advanced automatically to the next rank. There is no upgrade fee. You don't pay for an upgrade in IMMERI. Now, in this case, this is your board. You were in group A2, the other board. Beverly is heading a board. Now, you are the elite. So once you have number 1 to 8 coming on your board. And it could be by your activity, it could be by the activity of everybody in the team. You might not even do anything, and yet these 8 spots get filled. You will be promoted to the next rank. So the magic is to get a minimum of 3 leaders to secure your elite position. IMMERI is not a system where you need to go and get 100 people, 1,000 people. No, you don't need that. The IMMERI structure does not encourage it. It encourages team spirit, because if you have to take 3, what happens if you are an influencer and you still have about 100 persons coming in after a webinar or after a seminar, after whatever, an event that you put up? You do not need to load them on yourself. You go ahead to support your team. So getting 3 or 4 leaders secures your position as an elite on any board. So once the 8th person comes in, you are promoted to the next rank. Now, how are you paid on the IMMERI board? Okay, let's take an example of the associate board, which is the $805 board. So again, remember, you are on this board, you are the elite on the board. So we have B, we have Kathy, we have Greg, and we have others on the board while you are heading the board. Now, this is how the associate board works. I tell people that the associate board is first a contributory board, okay? You are going to see how you get to earn just contributing on this board. And I'm not saying contributing 100%, probably even 1%. Now, if you are the elite on the board, okay, what I call the leader on the board, the first person on the board, IMMERI pays you what they call elite bonus. Remember, I outlined 11 ways where that IMMERI uses to reward its partners. IMMERI says for being the elite bonus, for being the elite on that board, you are paid what we call the elite bonus, and that's $161 plus you are paid $32 for what we call team bonus. From number H to N is team bonus. Actually, H to O is team bonus. The entire 8 slots. Everybody that drops on that board, whether you know them or not, you earn $32. Okay, so imagine you're earning $32. You know them, you don't know them. Other people are getting people on the board. You are being paid. That's because it is synergistic. That's team bonus. Now, for the last person, IMMERI says, for this last person, we also get to reward you, okay? $97 for the last person alone, whether you brought them or not. It's called team bonus. But however, the team bonus from number H to N is triple with the last person, is now $97. Now, because that last person is coming on which is O, remember the last person breaks the board. So as the board is broken, IMMERI says, we are now giving you what we call a promotional bonus. Remember, when you got into that position, you were paid an elite bonus of $161. IMMERI says we are paying you the same amount for you to exit to the next rank. So just being an elite on the associate board, you earn $644 just for being the elite. Now, what happens if you are not the elite and all these activities have happened and you were not the elite, but probably you got in your own friends to also join you? Probably Kathy, for example. Kathy just has 1 qualification. For having 1 qualification, Kathy is paid $5 per person that drops on the board, whether Kathy knows the person or not. Now, Kathy just has 1 person, 1 qualification. Now, others are dropping on the board. Kathy is being paid for the activity that she is not creating, the activities of others. So $5 times 8, and you can stay on this board up to 20 cycles. From number H to number O is called a cycle. And IMMERI says, even if all you contributed was 1 person, you qualify to be earning $5 per person that drops on the board, even if you choose to die on that board. Like we'll say in Nigeria, we die here. And you choose to sleep on that board, $5 is paid to you times 8. Times 20, that's $800. How much do you come in with? How many persons are on your board? Just 1 person coming in, you get to earn. So you enjoy this, and you also enjoy a total of $800. That is $40 per cycle. Now, what happens if you have just 2 qualifications? Now, instead of paying you $5 per person, IMMERI says, you know what? Let's do $10 per person. So now you can do $10 times 8 stacks, and you can stay there for 20 cycles, and you still earn 1,600 US dollars, just having 2 qualifications. So again, if you look at the pattern here, we are not talking about having 10 people, 100 people. We are talking about having 1, having 2, and probably if you have 3, it makes you the elite. Okay, so this is very, very interesting. How are you paid on the board as an elite? Okay, now as an elite, okay, again, look at the board carefully. You are the elite on the board. There are 8 stacks beneath. IMMERI says you are paid $32. If this is the associate board, okay? When I talk about the elite across the board, so I'll take you across the board. As an elite, if on the associate board and you are the elite of that board, anybody that drops on the board, you are paid $32, okay? Whether you know them or not. Now that's from number 1 to number 7. For number 8, you are paid $97, okay? It's team bonus for the last person, that's the 8th person. Now, if you rank from this board, the associate board, you are moving to what we call the executive board. And if you now become the elite on that executive board, IMMERI says per executive that drops on your board, whether you are the one bringing them in or not, you are being paid $322 per person. $322 per person. So every new person from number 1 to number 7, you are paid $322 per person. Now for the last person that comes on that board, whether you are the one bringing them in or not, IMMERI says we are going to reward you with $966. Okay, whether you know them or not, once they drop on your board, you get to earn this. Why? Because you are the elite on that board. Now, we also have from the elite executive, you move to what we call a manager board. But if you are the elite on that manager, meaning other managers are dropping and probably you secured 2 or 3 managers on the board that made you an elite, for being the elite manager, anybody that drops on your board as a manager, you are earning $3,220 US per person dropping on your board. We have somebody in Nigeria just last week or so, is an elite manager, and about 3 persons in a week dropped on his board. And the way it looks, either tomorrow or next, another 1 person will be dropping on that board. It has nothing to do with him. Once you come on his board, he's being paid $3,220 US. So imagine $3,220 multiplied by 4 just in 2 weeks. Okay, that's happening. Now for the last person who comes on that board, you get paid $9,660 US for that last person, whether you know them or not. Now this is very, very interesting. You've got to see this. If you are not too used to dollars, please just multiply this by your country's exchange rate, and probably you will need to be held down to understand what this value is. Now, there's what we call board bonuses, team that covers the team, the elite, and the promotion. So on all of this board, if you were on the classic board, okay, which was the $161 US board, if you started there, when you move out of that board, what they pay you is a promotional bonus, and that's $32 because the real game starts from the associate board. However, if you are on the associate board and you move out of that board, okay, the minimum you do on this board is $644 US. Okay, if you are on the executive board, okay, and you are moving out of this board, the minimum you do is $6,440 US. If you're on the manager board and the minimum you do as you are moving out of this board with your bonuses, you are doing $64,400 US. So what we are having here is what we call guaranteed income generating system, GIGS. It is guaranteed. You do not need to do monthly autoship to earn them. You do not need to balance any leg. Just being on that system and also contributing to those board, and you are the elite. As you are moving, you are being rewarded. So you get to enjoy team bonus, elite bonus, and promotional bonus. This is just 3, and I said we have 11. Now, when you consider this, when you move out of the manager board, okay, you move to what we call a director. But before we go there, IMMERI says we still have other earnings and other reward system. We have what we call the leadership bonus. The leadership bonus basically is such that if you're an executive, for every executive you produce, you are paid $161. I mean, I did mention you do need to stock everybody with you. You've got to support yourself, your team, and help. Because as you are helping to support and grow a team, and your team is ranking, you'll get rewarded. So as an executive, your direct downline qualifies as an executive, you are paid $161 US. If you're a manager and you produce a manager, you are paid $1,610 US. If you are a director and you produce a director, you get to earn $16,100 US. If you are a director and you have produced a director. Now, have you noticed, it's not you must produce 100 people, you must produce 200 people, just for supporting them, because for you to rank, they also need to move up. IMMERI says, for following that process, let's also reward you along. IMMERI has what they call the repeat sales bonus. Now, because, I mean, it's a product-based company, so IMMERI says, every time you make a purchase, this is for agency and above. Now, it's not compulsory, it's not tied to your team bonuses or your earnings. IMMERI says every time you make a purchase of a product, 5% of what you purchase is paid to you. Now, and this, if the person you introduce also buys, okay, personal product for personal consumption, for retail, whatever it is, you are paid 5% of that consumption bonus. And this can go to 10 levels deep, compressed. So what happens if probably your second, third generation, they've not purchased, and yet people down have also purchased that are far, that are further, okay, away from you? IMMERI is going to compress it. This is paid once a month to you for consuming your product. So you are consuming a product. Instead of you paying them, IMMERI says, let's reward you for being a product of your product. Now, we have what we call the director development bonus in IMMERI. And IMMERI says this is for one-star directors and above. And this is paid daily. It cannot be allowed to accumulate, okay? You can't do that, but I mean, you might have problem with your security agencies or whatever it is, financial regulatory outfits there. Now, what does this mean? For example, you are a one-star director and you have developed one director. Okay, for you to be a one-star, it means you were a director and you develop one director. IMMERI says you will be earning 1% of your entire group sale, new activation sales that are done every single day. Now, in your entire structure, you earn 1%, not net profit, but group sales, 1%. We have a one-star director in Africa, okay, and the Middle East, the first one-star director. Every single day, he's posting his earnings. It comes in as a damaged ATM machine that has not failed to deliver every single day. One-star director earning 1% group sales. To be a two-star director, simply develop two of one-star directors. So again, it's not asking you to go build 100 leg, just support two of your leaders to also move, and you also begin to earn 2% group sales. Three-star director, you develop two-star director, now you're a three-star director. Sapphire ambassador, you're now earning 5%. Emerald ambassador, you're earning 6%. As a diamond, you now earn 6% group sales. Now, IMMERI also have what we call travel incentives. IMMERI says, when you hit elite manager and above, okay, you as an elite manager, you qualify for your first all expense paid trip in a company. And if you're a one-star director, you enjoy your second all expense paid trip. One-star and above, you begin to get travel points, okay? Like our one-star director, then a second will always show, apart from his daily earnings, monies are also kept for his travel. I mean, it's amazing. Somebody's saying, how come they put travel this way towards the end? No, IMMERI says make money. The money you make is enough for you to travel wherever you want to go. But once you become an elite manager, now we have a structure that covers your travel. And we've had some exciting travel for the elite managers. And I think the next elite manager trip and one-star director trip should be sometime in July, okay? If I got that correctly. Now, IMMERI says, we also give you what we call a car reward. It's not a fund, it's a car reward. Now, when you hit a director in IMMERI, meaning you left the manager board, okay, you became the elite manager. When it got filled, you moved to become a director. IMMERI says now you qualify for your first car as a director, and your first car is worth $16,100 US. Now, you don't monetize it, you collect the car, okay? If you might want to top up to any brand of car, but the first car is you must receive it. So $16,100 US. Now, when you hit a 3-star director, IMMERI says there is another car given to you worth $32,200 US. At this point, you can choose to monetize it because you should be a millionaire in dollars playing at this level already. Now, like I said, about 3 weeks ago, I was privileged with some other team leads from Nigeria, the MCs, and some of our exciting partners to go celebrate with IMMERI Ghana at their 1-year anniversary. And we met this interesting business builder, Mr. Prince Eric Kujo, who became a director, okay, the newest IMMERI Ghana newest director. And as a reward for being a director, he was given a car. So on that day, he was presented with a Honda CR-V 2020 model. The fun was mad, okay, just because he became a director. Now, Daniel Sekbe, remember we did say if you produce a director, you become, and you yourself, you're a director, you become a 1-star director. So Daniel Sekbe actually produced Prince Kujo that became a director. So Daniel Sekbe became a 1-star director. But before he became a 1-star director to start earning his daily alert, he was a director, and that also qualified him for a car reward, which was also presented 3 weeks ago in Ghana. So congratulations, Mr. Prince Eric Kujo, and congratulations, our first 1-star director in IMMERI Middle East and Africa, Mr. Daniel Kujo Shepley. Now, finally, IMMERI says, when you hit the rank of diamond, you will be rewarded with a penthouse in Malaysia. If you do not want this penthouse, you are given a cash of $150,000 US cash to build it wherever you want. In your home country, if you're in Nigeria, Ekaprame, Uborikoko, Ubolubosu, Efuru, somewhere in the north, wherever you are, in Accra, in Takoradi, wherever you are in the world, IMMERI says, if you do not want our penthouse in Malaysia, $150,000 US cash is available just for hitting diamond for you to go build a house of your own. Otherwise, you get the penthouse in Malaysia, and the penthouse also comes with multiple entries, visa of up to 10 years in Malaysia. Okay, so this is very, very interesting. This is the penthouse, ladies and gentlemen. What you see here is not a graphic. This is the exact penthouse. This is the exact house, okay, where if you become a diamond, you will be enjoying, you'll be rewarded with one of this. Now, something interestingly happened last year in July. At the convention in Malaysia, the CEO, Mr. Lau, came up and he said, you know what, the houses are ready. We were yet to get a diamond in the company. So he said, so that it doesn't look as if it's just all talk. You know what, the houses, they are waiting. And like J Mama and the rest of them will be saying, they are sweeping the houses every day for them. So we don't want to just keep sweeping your houses or taking care of it. If you are an emerald in the house, come out. And these two ladies came out because they were emerald, and a company they just joined about 2.5 years prior. It was amazing that the CEO of the company gave them the keys to their penthouses. So this is on record that we have 2 penthouse in Malaysia awardees because they were emerald. And he also said the next 6 emerald directors will get the houses without going diamond. Now, 3 weeks ago in Ghana, the president for Africa and Middle East, Mr. Yap Wayen, in his closing remark during the Ghana anniversary, said something that there is also a promo for Africa. that the first African to hit emerald will also be getting the penthouse without going diamond. Well, it's your choice either to get the house or to get the cash, but it's already happening. So everything IMMERI has promised, from the sponsor bonus to the house reward, is already been activated and been received. So what are we saying here? IMMERI is going stronger. Now, for those in other countries, you want to find out, how do I come on board? Well, how much do I pay? If you're in Ghana, you can join us with a classic package, and that will cost you 785 Ghana cedis. The agency will cost you 3,925 Ghana cedis if you are coming with the agency, which is highly recommended. If you are doing any of the tiers, it ranges from 9,813 Ghana cedis to 39,250 Ghana cedis. This is the entry level packages for those in Ghana. If you are in Nigeria, you can come on board with a classic package for 59,200, the agency pack, which is highly recommended, for 295,930. You can also come in any of the tiers ranging from 739,825 to about 2,959,300 naira. Okay, if you are in Nigeria. Now, if you are in South Africa, you can pay with the South African rand. Classic pack will cost you 2,576 rand. If you are an agent, if you want to come in with the agency, which is again highly recommended, that will be 12,880 South African rand. If you are coming in with any of the wholesale tier 1 to tier 4, it ranges from 32,208 South African rand to 128,800 South African rand. And finally, if you are in Egypt, you can join us and be a part of IMMERI with a classic pack, with coming on board with the Egyptian pound, which is 2,800 Egyptian pound. You can also join with the agency, which is about 14,800 Egyptian pound. You can join with any of the tier, which is from 35,000 to 140,000 Egyptian pounds. So these are the packages for the entry enterprises into IMMERI. Now, I got somebody in Tanzania, I got somebody, people are in Saudi Arabia, people are in Sudan. You can be assisted wherever in the world that you are to get plugged in and started effectively. Now, what do you do? Having had the presentation so far, there are 3 types of people that join IMMERI. The first set of people join basically to use the product. There's another level of people that join to be able to retail the product. They refer the product to others. Then we have a third category of people that join not just to use the product, not just to refer and gather customers, but to build a team, to build a thriving business. Now, your membership of any of the packages I mentioned gives you access to all 3. Your membership gives you access both to use the product, to refer the product, and to also build a business with it. So what's next? I will encourage you to get back to the person who shared this opportunity with you so that they can show you how to get started. Somebody shared the link with you. Somebody told you about this. You might have seen it probably on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, a text message. Any way you got involved with us, please get back to the person that invited you and let them know you've listened to what IMMERI is and what your decision is, and they can help you get started. In closing, let me say this. Nobody was born to win. Nobody was born to lose. You were born to choose. Nobody was born to win. Nobody was born to lose. You were simply born to choose. So I want to believe that you will choose IMMERI. because something is happening. And for those in Nigeria, March 28th will be the official launch of IMMERI in Nigeria. Something revolutionary is happening. Be a part of us. Let's win together, because with IMMERI, everybody wins. It's been my pleasure bringing this presentation to you tonight. Thank you all over the world, wherever you are listening from. We appreciate you, and our meetings will continue. Get back to the person that invited you, and you will know how to get started with us.